This video is different from my usual how-to knitting videos. This is more of a, I want to buy one of these, will someone please make one video. So this little loom came from one of my older relatives. I am guessing the loom is from the first half of the 20th century, but whether it's from closer to 1900 or closer to 1950, I'm not sure. The part I'm most interested in is this cylinder right here, and I'll show you more about that later. So for the moment I'm going to take that out and let me sort of show you around the loom. So this is a pretty basic little frame loom. There are a number of manufacturers out there who make little frames similar to this. It's got a top and a bottom piece with slits in it, and you warp it simply by running the thread continuously up and down, so you don't have to break the thread. And let me pick it up and let you get a closer look at it. So you can see in profile, you see there's a little notch right there. When I turn it, you can see there's the threads and the little teeth. The notch keeps the thread from slipping off the teeth, so that's a nice design feature. The side board, you'll notice, is quite a bit lower than the end boards are, and this is by design. You see there's quite a bit of space between the bottom of this and where the threads lie. And these boards have a top and a bottom. That is narrower, that is deeper. And ideally I should probably paint the bottom of the loom, so when I put it together I put the side boards on correctly because they have a direction to them. Okay, so let me set this down. So what is interesting about this is not this basic thing. Like I said, there's lots of other manufacturers who make something like this. What is interesting to me is that with most looms that have a device that allows you to change your shed easily, you have to thread it, which means you have to cut threads and thread things. And once it's threaded, you're kind of locked into whatever you threaded. What is interesting about this loom is this device. Let me bring it in closer so you can get a better look at it. I do not know what this is called, and I have never seen one anywhere else. All the magazines I've read, all the books, all the many shows I have been to, I have never seen one of these before. It is obviously a cylinder. The ends have been cut to be square in cross section, so it's got these sort of peg ends. And the slits, there are the same number of slits as the threads, so that they match up. The slits are cut at 90 degrees and halfway down the cylinder. So the first slit is cut that way, and then the second slit is cut that way. The third slit is like the first, and the fourth slit is like the second, and so on. Now what's interesting to me about this gadget is, like I said, most looms you have to thread them and cut threads and everything when you dress the loom. With this one you don't. You take this gadget out, and you should notice that you see here's an edge, and you see that lines up with a section that is solid. So if you put it that way underneath and you bring it up and then you roll it, the threads drop into place. And so what happens is if I turn it one way, I get the first shed. So picking this up, odd threads are up, even threads are down. And then if I turn this 90 degrees, I get the other shed. Odd threads are down and even threads are up. And so just by rotating this back and forth, I could pass the shuttle through. Just by rotating this back and forth, I can get both sheds. But I didn't have to cut anything and I didn't have to thread anything. Oh, and let me show you what it looks like from the side. So, and you can see this is why this is the same height as this. So that's why the difference in height. So my request is twofold. My first part of the request is I would like to be able to purchase loom similar to this, where it would come with the two side pieces, the top and bottom, and the matching cylinder. And then that I would also be able to purchase more top and bottoms and matching cylinders, but at different sets, so that you could play around with how many threads per inch you want. And then the more important question I have is, would it be possible to make some of these cylinders that weave something other than tabby? In other words, other than plain weave. Would it be possible to make some of these that instead of giving me every other one up and down, that I could weave 2-2 twill or 1-3 twill or basket weave or some other weave structure? I don't know if you'd have to make the cylinder bigger. I don't know, maybe you'd have to make the peg, maybe it couldn't be square. Maybe it would have to be pentagonal or hexagonal in cross section. I'm not sure. But it would be really neat to be able to just drop these out and pop them back in and change your weave structure. And if you're doing tapestry where you're doing pictures and you want different parts of your picture to have different weave structures, that would be really neat and nifty, and I think lots of people, not just me, would want to buy that. So anyway, so there's my request. If somebody decides to do this, please post in the comments so that we can all find you. And I hope that whatever these cylinder things are, I hope I'll find out what the name for them is, and I hope I will see some of them in somebody's booth at a festival very soon. Thank you for watching.